is recognizing passions. We've all heard a saying, choose a job you love and you will never work for a single day in your life. So there must be one special ingredient that makes work pleasure, and the secret ingredient is true passion. Now think about it. If you're passionate about something, if you're really alive, if you get up in the morning, jumping out of your bed, feeling fire in your heart, what would that make your life feel like towards your work? Now, passion can be described as a very strong inflation or liking towards a particular task, activity, or hobby. You could have a passion towards solving mathematical equations, knowing about the universe, building a very good physique, traveling, driving, and so on. The list is endless. But what's important here is exploring your inner self and recognizing your true passions. So a person out of his natural liking for work would do his work wholeheartedly and never feel burdened, always finding himself motivated, inspired, and driven, interested in the work at hand. Number 1 is focus. Now imagine this. You keep a piece of paper out in the sunlight and the whole day it would remain as is. But if you place a magnifying glass between the light and the paper and you focus it in the right point, with just the light rays, it will burn the paper at some point. So imagine the ability of focus. If you can draw your entire attention, your entire ability to focus on a single point for longer duration of hours, you have achieved something remarkable. Exercise. 18 to 20 minutes of reflection time. Find a nice peaceful corner. Sit quietly and take some time off. Take 3 to 5 deep breaths and relax. And repeat the process. And with every breath you take, allow yourself to go into a deep, peaceful, relaxed state and give command to your mind. I am getting more and more relaxed. I am getting more and more relaxed with every new breath I take. Now reflect on the time when you did some task with complete focus. And focus and remember and recollect all the things and tools that you needed to make this task better. Write down all the qualities of results that you achieved back then. Did focus make you perform better? If it did, write down how did it enhance your work or your task. Now reflect on the time when you did some task but you did not have proper focus, and write down the quality of result that you achieved. Did not being focused in the particular task affect the result? And in the next step, ask yourself if you think focus is important and would you like to improve your focus? And if the answer to the above question is yes, create a list of factors which are key essential ingredient for your distraction and take you away from your focus. For example, internet, social media, wasting of time dwelling on things, taking too long to make decisions. Next, write down what all can you do to be more focused towards performing your tasks and also towards your intermediate, immediate, and long-term goals. Read some articles online for tips if you wish to. Point number 2 is persistence and perseverance. So once again, let's revisit the sunlight paper example. And let's say the magnifying glass was brought onto the paper merely for a few seconds and then removed. Do you think the paper would burn in this case? Of course not. So it's clearly established that even if the focus is there and the required effort is there, if it lacks persistence, it will not give you the required outcome. You see, persistence would be when you continue a course of action or behavior repeatedly and regularly with the same amount of motivation just as you when started, irrespective of the outcome. If you were to know the formula for persistence, it would be character, willpower, and a strong mindset. And you know the good news, all of these three can be created and developed and enhanced. Exercise. 18 to 20 minutes of reflection time. Sit down quietly and take some time off. Take 3 to 5 deep breaths and allow yourself to go into a relaxed state of mind. Because it is only in a relaxed state of mind that you're able to create inner resources. Identify the resources that you need to bring into your life to make your life more effective, more constructive, and productive. Once you find yourself in a deep, relaxed state, reflect on the time when you pursued a particular target persistently and you held your perseverance. You keep investing your efforts irrespective of the difficulties on the way. Write down the quality of result that you achieved then. Did persistence and perseverance make you perform better? Did it enhance your performance? If you can't remember any such incident for yourself, maybe read a few stories online, but I'm very positive that you will have some moments in your life where you created success doing one thing repeatedly over and over. Remember, when small, insignificant actions performed continuously, persistently, over longer hours, weeks, and months, they produce stunning results. Now reflect on the time when you did some task but your efforts were not persistent. Write down the quality of the result that you achieved then. Did not being persistent affect the result? And now ask yourself, if you think persistence and perseverance is important, would you like to improve them? Would you like to enhance them? If the answer to the above question is yes, create a list and factors of what are the sources of your distraction which take you away from investing in persistence efforts. For example, demotivation because of non-achievement or desired results, or a fear that even if you complete the task, you won't be rewarded for it. Next, write down what all you can do to be more persistent towards performing your tasks and also towards achieving your short-term, intermediate, and long-term goals. Point number 3 is self-discipline, self-control, and willpower. It is 5 a.m. on a chilly morning, almost dark outside, but you still choose to wake up and put on your shoes for that gym session that you had planned. And knowing that a single day won't make it or break it. This is self-discipline. What's important is self-discipline following consistency. It's going to be the ability to push yourself forward and stay motivated, inspired from within yourself without any external factors, irrespective of how you feel physically or emotionally, will determine the quality of your discipline. And so it becomes one of the most important qualities everyone should possess to improve their rates of success and achievement of their goals. One of the key factors we often miss out here is the balance. And things get adverse only when they go out of balance. It is the whole act of being balanced that requires self-discipline. And how do you master this? Being in charge of your feelings and actions and having stronger willpower. Further ahead, you would be taught how to master being in charge, build self-discipline and strong willpower to create the self-discipline, which becomes a natural and effortless phenomenon. One of the important things to understand is that willpower is a tool which is very short-lived, and it is best utilized in bursts. If you do too much at one time, you will lack the willpower and lack the motivation to take action. So the best way to move forward is to create consistency and commitment. Take small baby steps, small actions, seemingly insignificant actions when performed consistently over longer periods produce stunning results. Exercise. 18 to 20 minutes of reflection time. Sit quietly and take some time off. Take 3 to 5 deep breaths and relax. Repeat the process. Allow yourself to go into a deep relaxation. And once you've achieved this relaxation by inhaling and exhaling of your breath, reflect on the time when you practice self-control and self-discipline. Write down 3 or 4 factors which helped you create self-discipline. Now, reflect on the time when you lacked self-control and self-discipline. Did it harm you in any kind of way? Maybe an addiction. Maybe when you wanted to work out and you didn't. Or maybe you wanted to lose weight and you didn't. Maybe you wanted to manage your diet better, but you didn't. So going by the answers above, do you think self-discipline and self-control are important factors to have into your life? And if yes, would you like to improve your self-control and discipline? And if the answer is yes, write down different areas in which you think you lack self-control and discipline. Whether it's your eating habits, devoting proper time to education, devoting proper time to planning your day, planning your work schedule, or exercise routine, or improving your mental and emotional health, or giving more time to your relationships. Write down all the points you would like to follow from here on to be more disciplined in all these areas. Point number 4, self-esteem and confidence. Have you noticed everyone has some special talents, and there are things every individual is personally good at. This becomes their unique ability or capability. The realization of your own special talents and strengths is self-esteem. Complete self-recognition and validation, and also total acceptance of your flaws and deficiencies is self-esteem. You see, self-esteem is a combination of sense of personal value, self-worth, self-love, self-respect, self-trust, and belief in one's own abilities to contribute to the environment of the world. It is an overall self-concept of positive or negative evaluations of yourself, how you feel about yourself, and the thoughts you carry about yourself. If you've noticed, people with high self-esteem are generally more confident and therefore get better academic achievements, success in work, or more happiness in their personal relationships, and general overall satisfaction in their life. It is once you begin eradicating negative beliefs about yourself, coupled with a strong sense of self-belief, it would shape you into a better person who is extremely confident, comfortable in his own skin, which is an ability of complete and total self-acceptance of your flaws and deficiencies. Therefore, possess a high sense of self-esteem, and this is how winners are made. Exercise. 18 to 20 minutes of reflection time. Sit quietly and take some time off. Take 3 to 5 deep breaths and allow yourself to go into a very calm and relaxed state of mind. Inhale and exhale deeply. And with every breath you inhale, inhale peace. And every breath you exhale, exhale all tensions and worries leaving your body. And once you achieve a calm, relaxed state, write down all the good points about yourself. At least 10 to 15 qualities about yourself that you feel are unique, that you feel enable you to become a better functioning human being within your work, within your environment, within your family and relationships, within your social circle and friends, in all aspects of life. For example, I have a loving heart. I'm kind and compassionate human being. I'm able to keep a calm disposition at all times. Or it could be something like your hobby related. I'm good at singing. I'm very good at playing basketball. I don't lose my temper easily, and so on. If you think you cannot think of enough points, ask your closest friends and family members few good things about you and write them down. These points will make up your strengths and help you enhance your self-esteem, make you amazing. Always remember, every person is different and has his own strengths, and one should love and respect himself for having these strengths. So now that you know you have many of these qualities about yourself, would you not like to close your eyes for 5 minutes and tell yourself how amazing you are? Acknowledge, validate, and give love and attention and care to yourself for all these wonderful qualities and abilities that you possess. Point number 5, patience. So often it happens when our goals are not achieved because we tend to get with the delay. We get restless and demotivated. The passion and zeal you once had fizzles out. But then what do? You deplete your efforts all the more. And what becomes inevitable here is a roadmap to failure. This is the kind of situation which is very realistic, and the only reason behind a high number of failures in terms of academics, career, relationships, health, mental, physical, or emotional, or growth in different aspects of your life and a variety of other areas. A tool which is going to help you out here and be your best friend is going to be patience. It will allow you to be more perseverant and make you more productive, therefore enabling you in greater possibilities of success and achievements. It is when you build a robust faith in yourself and tame your emotions, you channelize inner peace, reduce stress, and get the ability to stay calm and composed despite all challenges. Exercise. 18 to 20 minutes of reflection time. Sit quietly and take some time off. Take 3 to 5 deep breaths and relax. Repeat the process. Now reflect on the time when you were really patient. Write it down. Did it help you in any way? And if it did, elaborate. In what ways did being patient serve you in that particular situation? Now, once you're done, reflect on the time when you were very impatient and write down, did it harm you in any way? Did it enhance or diminish the situation that you're in? Based on the points that you've written, evaluate, would you like to improve your patience level? Now write down all the reasons that make you impatient whenever they do. Identify your triggers that make you impatient and write down the different ways that you can follow which allow you to become more patient as a person. Point number 6, knowingness and self-awareness. An important attribute for building a good life comes out to be the knowingness and self-awareness. Only when you understand yourself well, it becomes easy for you to align yourself to the outside events, situations, people, circumstances. Understanding this way, you get an idea of yourself and your preferences, which brings in awareness of what you can choose to be and what you can choose to let go. So focus on your shortcomings and improve them, as it makes the course of your self-awareness to a catwalk. It is upon you to learn the process of keeping yourself in a constant state of complete knowingness, a complete state of self-evaluation. This is going to come from a place of observing your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Observing your every action and observing the desire to carry out the action, the need to carry out that action. Why you do what you do is going to bring a fundamental understanding of your own behavior, of your own inner thought process. What drives an action is an emotion. What drives an emotion is always a thought. If you cannot generate a thought, you cannot carry out, and you will not have an emotion. If you do not have an emotion or a desire, you will not be able to take an action. So observe yourself. Try and bring in an awareness about how much in the moment are you present. Try and bring an awareness about how much of your thought process is non-stop, insignificant chatter, and how much of those thoughts are you following through, converting into action. This exercise will help you understand and create an observation towards your own thought process. It will be difficult in the beginning, but everything is about practice, and the more and more you practice, the better you get at it. Point number 7, self-reliance. What gives the person freedom to do things as per their convenience and saves them a lot of time he otherwise would have spent in looking for and getting help from others? In times when people are not available and you're able to do things by yourself is called self-reliance. Depending on yourself more than anybody else for your inner well-being, for your emotional needs, for your physical needs is self-reliance. Even though on the outside world you will always need to depend on other people, it is going to make you an effective leader when you're able to delegate work. But how do you get onto this path of self-reliance? Self-reliance comes to you by being capable and developing trust in yourself. Because once you begin to trust yourself, you become capable of doing the desired tasks and trust your mental and physical abilities, trust your instincts, trust your decisions, trust your ability to carry out decisions which may prove otherwise not favorable, and also trusting at the same time that even if they are not favorable, you will be able to change them later on. Self-reliance is not about being right. Self-reliance is not always about being correct and doing right things. Self-reliance is knowing and believing that even if things go wrong, I will be able to correct myself. As students, it will come really handy to you to get to learn ways of sharpening, enhancing, and improving, trusting your mental and physical capabilities, your psychological capabilities, becoming self-reliant, and also keep doing these things by themselves. Creating a positive alliance for betterment in balance. Exercise 8 to 10 minutes of reflection time. Sit quietly and take some time off. Take 3 to 5 deep breaths and relax. Repeat the process. And once you've achieved a state of calm relaxation, write down in your own opinion, do you think depending on others for completing your own task is a good thing? Or is it better to be self-reliant? For example, is it better to be capable enough to complete your school project by yourself, or expecting your parents and friends to handhold you and assist you with completing your project? If you completed your school project by yourself, or if you acquired help to complete it, what do you think would build confidence and self-respect in you? Now rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 on the grounds of being self-reliant, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. Observe yourself in what areas of your life you lack self-trust. Is it communication? Is it expressing your feelings and emotions? Is it a fear that you won't be understood if you communicate it? Is it your relationships, that you won't be able to manage your relationships effectively? Is it your finances? Is it your studies? Or is it your social circle? Where do you think you lack self-trust? Write down things like beliefs about yourself that stop you from being completely self-reliant. Write down a roadmap to improve these reasons you wrote so you're able to become completely self-reliant, or at least walk on the path of becoming self-reliant. Point number 8, optimism. Now comes an attitude of being hopeful, sure, confident, positive about the outcome and success of a specific activity, endeavor, in neutral, favorable, as well as unfavorable circumstances. This is about believing in the best possible outcome and looking at the brighter side of an event. And this is what is called optimism. Have you guys noticed people who are pessimists lose hope quickly? They exhibit jittery and unsure traits. Think too much about the negative outcomes. Think too long to take their decisions. They would remain constantly in a state of fear, suffer from frequent failures. This is because such people become overthinkers. They lose their time, their energy, focus, and confidence in the process of pessimism. And why do you think this happens? Because you see, optimism is never about the situations. It is always about who you are. It is always about your mindset. It is always about your perception, belief system, and your approach and vision to look at things. Optimism is a way of life. It cannot be created or inculcated in a moment or a day or two. But if you're optimistic, generally overall everything in life, you acquire a habit of feeling optimistic all the time. Exercise. 8 to 10 minutes of reflection time. Sit down quietly and take some time off. Take 3 to 5 deep breaths and relax. Repeat the process as many times as you need in order to create the desired relaxation, which will enable you to go into a state of self-introspection. Now write down the answer to these questions. When you're facing any difficult situation, do you often feel that you would be able to fix this situation by yourself? Or opposite to this, do you generally experience negative thoughts like situation might even get worse and you feel miserable, may be unlucky, fearing the worst outcome, fearing that things will go terribly wrong and some sort of harm or punishment will come your way. According to your answers, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 on the grounds of being optimistic, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. Now write down 8 to 10 points that you would like to change yourself, which will help you become an optimistic person. These 8 to 10 points will enhance your thought process and allow you to become a more optimistic person. The 9th point is the ability to handle or manage difficult situations. Attributes like being ambitious, developing a go-getter attitude, not giving up when the going gets tough, not losing focus and staying on the course might not be innate, but one acquires with time and mindfulness. It's a matter of habit. The more and more you practice, the better you get at it. For you to accept that getting up again when you fall is an important part of the process of life, because being able to fight stress and remaining mentally, emotionally stable and calm in crisis situations adds to the quality of life. Understand this. What makes people successful is a mindset. And what creates a mindset is what you practice for days, weeks, months, and years. A distinct sense of self-control when situation is not favorable, and so on. The quicker you come out of bad times, the better life you enjoy. And this is what makes this another important quality for building a good life. The 10th point is honesty and integrity. Well, honesty and integrity are two sides of the same coin. One of the powerful tools which build trust and faith of person in others and themselves. Being honest, you display traits of honesty and good moral values like truthfulness, sincerity, fairness, ability to become neutral towards people, situations, ability to accept people. You'd potentially refrain from frauds and deceiving. By doing this persistently, people develop trust and respect towards you. Because come what may, only when people trust and respect you, they'll provide you career and money-making opportunities and build personal relationships with you. Hence, be it building a good career or good finance, both honesty and integrity are very important and powerful tools. And that's one of the important reasons you'd see people who are dishonest and cheat others are not able to respect themselves, therefore suffer from low self-esteem and extremely low levels of satisfaction or contentment. They might be able to gain short-term worldly benefits by cheating, manipulating others, but such behavior creates a deep sense of restlessness, impatience, disturbance within them, and it disables the proper functioning of energy, mind, emotions, and body. It disrupts the balance and results in disease in the long run. Exercise. 18 to 20 minutes of reflection time. Sit quietly and take some time off. Take 3 to 5 deep breaths and relax. Repeat the process as long as it takes for you to go into a relaxed state. Now write down the disadvantages of being dishonest and cheating. Write down their advantages as well, if you can think of any. Next, compare these two lists and ask yourself, is it better to be dishonest or to cheat others? Write down, what do you choose for yourself? Honesty, fair behavior, or dishonesty? The next point is compassion, love, and kindness. The sweetest emotions of all, compassion, love, and kindness, brings you the maximum happiness of joy and inner satisfaction. You may have observed and wondered, when you share something with someone, when you carry out an act of kindness, a gentle behavior towards someone, it creates a deep sense of sweetness within you, a strange sense of gratification. But did you wonder why? It is because when you indulge in an act of kindness without any personal motive, or give your love to someone who needs it without seeking any personal benefits in return, and then connect to your deepest feelings in such moments of love and kindness, would give you a very clear understanding of why are these emotions called to be the sweetest ones. This is the kind of happiness we all keep searching and running after. After all our lives, only to realize this happiness is so easy to experience. Once you realize these are the healing emotions which create a huge impact on your energy, mind, and body, and hence create completeness in life. Such people who possess these qualities have a beautiful family life, good social circle and relationships, and status, financial well-being, and overall a sense of contentment and achievement and fulfillment. Exercise. 8 to 10 minutes of reflection time. Sit down quietly and take some time off. Take 3 to 5 deep breaths and relax. Repeat the process as long as you have to in order to go into a calm, relaxed state of introspection. Now write down the benefits to self and to others of being compassionate and kind. What can you possibly gain out of being compassionate and being kind? And on the other page, write down their disadvantages if you can think of any. Now make a fair comparison between these two lists and ask yourself, is it beneficial to be compassionate, loving, and kind person? So would you like to be more compassionate and kind? Write down in your answers. Elaborate your answers as much as you can in order to gain clarity. The next point is effective communication. In a lot of situations, communication is the base of an action and hence controls the outcome and results indirectly. And what is effective communication is the communication between two or more people wherein the message that needs to be conveyed is properly conveyed by the conveyor and then received and understood by the receiver as intended. So what all does this involve? It involves exchanging thoughts, opinions, ideas, knowledge rightly in a calm, clear manner so that the message is understood by the receiver with clarity, purpose. But what's equally important here is to have the patience and good listening skills, like listening attentively and actively, and letting the other person feel validated, heard, letting the other person complete what he has to say before jumping on to conclusions or accepting or rejecting the point that is being conveyed. Communication is a two-way process. Communication involves speaking and listening. Speaking clearly, calmly, effectively. Listening attentively, actively. This way, it develops a good understanding between people by making them aware of their thoughts, feelings, emotions of the other person. Behind a particular idea or a thing being said, and hence aligns the thoughts and actions of people involved in the communication, thereby increasing productivity. Essentially, effective communication is an important tool one needs to be successful at work and building a good family and social relationship. Exercise. 18 to 20 minutes of reflection time. Sit quietly and take some time off. Take 3 to 5 deep breaths and relax. Repeat the process as long as you have to in order to go into a state of relaxation. Now write down the benefits of being able to communicate yourself effectively. Think of a moment in time when you tried to communicate to someone and it did not go well. Write down in points what exactly went wrong with that conversation. If you can try and remember, write down your thought process and your emotions that you were feeling before you tried to communicate your point across. Were you in the state of anger? Were you in the state of rejection? Were you in the state of feeling hurt and pain? Or did you have a calm, peaceful mind, an accepting behavior which enabled you to communicate clearly? Now write down the benefits of being able to communicate yourself effectively. Being easily able to convey in words to others your thoughts and ideas or the message that you intend to display. Next, ask yourself how easy or difficult is it to convey yourself to others. Accordingly, rate your communication abilities on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. Write down the answers to the following questions. Do you want to improve your communication abilities? If yes, write down 10 points which stop you from communicating effectively. For example, fear of being judged, or a thought or a deep-rooted feeling that if I communicate, I will not be heard. Or fear of being laughed, fear of being rejected by others, that when you put your point across, people will not accept it. Now write down what are the things that you can do to improve your communication. You can read some articles online and take help from there to frame your answers. The next point is acceptance and openness. In terms of people, acceptance simply means embracing others just the way they are, without having any preconceived notions, ideas, opinions about them, positive or negative. But on a deeper level, it is about understanding that we are what we are because of our past experiences, because of what we went through in life and the learnings and the conditioning that was taught to us or we picked up from the society or the environment. We are a product of our past. So understanding this, people behave in accordance with their thoughts that they carry in their minds. For example, a person who has always been ill-treated since his childhood by people around might have bitterness in his behavior. Or a person who got cheated in his business by someone might develop distrust and find it difficult to trust people. Hence, we should be able to accept people just the way they are, because we understand that people are the way they are because of their past experiences, because something in the past has happened to them which has shaped their behavior, their personality, and their character. However, acceptance does not mean agreeing with people, validating or appreciating other people's thoughts or behavior when you do not agree with them or you do not connect with them. Knowing that accepting and agreeing are two different things. One can accept someone yet disagree with their thoughts and behaviors or actions. Acceptance simply means not judging, hating, disliking, or building grudges against people who think or behave differently from us. It is about keeping one's inner emotion clean and neutral, even when disagreements arise. Why? Because acceptance brings closeness. If people know that you accept them, they trust and open to you more. Exercise. 18 to 20 minutes of reflection time. Sit quietly and take some time off. Take 3 to 5 deep breaths and relax. Repeat the process as long as you have to. Now ask yourself and write down the answers to the following questions. Do you find yourself that you generally accept others just the way they are, or you judge them for their behavior and actions? And taking this judgment further, develop bad feelings like grudge, resentment, dislike for them. Do you generally, after recognizing your shortcomings and mistakes, decide to work on yourself and improve? Or do you become guilty and keep blaming yourself in your heart and become unhappy thinking about your mistakes and shortcomings? Do you often reflect on your flaws and deficiencies? Do you often go into self-pity, self-criticism? Accordingly, rate yourself on self-acceptance and acceptance of others in two different categories on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. Now write down, why should you be accepting of self and others and be a non-judgmental person? Do you think you should become more accepting of yourself and others? The next point is motivation. Think this through. What is the one reason that makes us do things or put efforts in doing a particular task wholeheartedly? What is it that creates willingness and makes you initiate and maintain a goal-oriented behavior? It is your strong desire or enthusiasm to achieve or accomplish something. It is your motivation. It is an innate quality of being inspired, being driven to a course of action. Motivations are usually of two types. One is intrinsic motivation, which comes from within, and one is external motivation, which comes from outside. Simulating factors which inspire you to take an action from the outside is external motivation. Factors which create an internal motivation or intrinsic motivation are self-validation, self-love, joy. Success is not a matter of chance, it never is. It is always proportional to the amount of effort you invest. Human beings need motivation to invest their efforts. Therefore, a high level of motivation remains to be the key factor in academic, financial, career, or successful relationship and development of a healthy mind and body. Another equally important factor is the ability to motivate others in making them do what you want them to do because they want to do it. This is the best way to motivate and optimize the output, which gets achieved from others if they willingly do what you expect them to do. How do we do it? What is the step work to not just motivate yourself, but to motivate others as well? It is done through empowerment, encouragement, building trust, giving respect, and aligning your goals, wants, and desires. Exercise. 18 to 20 minutes of reflection time. Sit down quietly and take some time off. Take 3 to 5 deep breaths and relax. Now reflect on the time when you were very motivated while doing a task. Write down the quality of result that you achieved. Were you inspired enough? Were you motivated enough? And your motivation and inspiration, did it enhance your performance? Now reflect on the time when you did some task half-heartedly because you were not motivated enough, and write down the quality of result that you achieved then. Did being not motivated affect the result? And ask yourself, is motivation an important tool for you to carry on with your life effectively? Create a list of factors which generally make you feel demotivated. For example, comparison with others. In the next step, write down what are the things that you can do to motivate yourself towards your short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals. The last and the most important above all of what we have learned so far is balance. The very strong building block of life without which life cannot sustain itself. Since it has immediate and long-term effects on our health, well-being, career, relationships, and other different areas of life, maintaining balance in different life situations become the very important aspect to conduct our life. Things work out the best when they are in balance. Maintaining balance requires being aware and taking corrective measures immediately as and when things feel they are going out of balance or falling apart. Because mind you, it becomes a habit when things are allowed to remain out of balance for longer duration. And it asks a huge amount of effort to change a habit. Exercise. 8 to 10 minutes of reflection time. Sit quietly and take some time off. Take 3 to 5 deep breaths and relax. Repeat the process. Now evaluate and write down your answers. Which areas of your life do you think right now are in lack of balance and need improvement? For example, eating unhealthy food very often, or having enough of playtime and not balancing with work or studies. Create a list of all such areas. In the next step, decide upon a self-created plan of action you would like to follow to create a balance and order in your life. You can take help from